Welcome in, NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we will give updated predictions for some of the top free agents still remaining on the free agent market. I got three names that we'll highlight coming up on today's show in just a matter of moments. Before we do, though, here's all I want from the folks at home watching right now. I want you to shout out your favorite team in the comment section. But not just that. I need a little bit more from you. Here's what I need you to do. I want you to predict their record for the 2023 NFL season. How will they stack up? Tell me in the comment section. Sound off and let me know who your favorite team is and how they will fare. Look, everybody's got a perfect record right now. It's okay to be optimistic. Maybe you'll be more realistic. Whatever you're feeling, let me know in the comment section how you think your team will do in 2023. The 33rd team, which does a great job covering the National Football League, they put out a list together of three of the most important free agents remaining on the market at three different positions. And they laid out where they think these three could possibly end up, some of the top remaining destinations for these three individuals. So what we're going to do here on today's show is show you what the 33rd team had to say about each one of these players. And then I'll predict where I think ultimately they are going to end up. Let's start at the quarterback position with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves. I think when you talk about Teddy Bridgewater, the talent has never been the issue with Teddy. He was a former first-round pick. He was very good immediately with the Minnesota Vikings, but has struggled to stay healthy his entire career. You go back to his time there in Minnesota, where he set 11 franchise records there in his short time with the Vikings. Went on to the Jets, the Saints, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Miami Dolphins. That year he was with the Broncos. He was on pace to be a Pro Bowl quarterback before he got hurt. And that's been the ongoing issue with Teddy throughout his career is his availability. That although the talent's there, that he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Even as a backup last year, behind Tua there in Miami, he was in and out and struggled on the health front. We call that injury prone, right? Well, here's what Rick Spielman of the 33rd team had to say about Teddy Bridgewater. Last season, he battled knee injuries, and the pinky on his throwing hand bothered him most of the season. Bridgewater is a smart and excellent leader. He has enough mobility that he can read through his progressions and get the ball out. But he's more of a game manager now. My prediction, ultimately, I think he ends up with the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Jordan Love takes over as the starting quarterback for the future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, who's off to New York to play for the Jets. And now, I think personally they need an experienced backup there. Now, granted, they do have Sean Clifford, who they brought in from Penn State, but I'm not very high on Sean Clifford personally to begin with. And so if something were to happen to Jordan Love, and granted, this is a division that is not that great on paper anyway, and so if you're the Packers, you need to do everything you can to still remain somewhat competitive and have a good option you can depend on if something were to happen to Jordan Love. I think Teddy Bridgewater could be that guy. He's played in that division before. He could be a good veteran to mentor Jordan Love as well. I like Teddy Bridgewater ending up with the Green Bay Packers. Our pinned comment today, where will Teddy Bridgewater sign in NFL free agency? Is it Green Bay? Is it somewhere else, like Baltimore, for example? Is it the Chargers? They've been mentioned. Let me know what you think in the comment section where Teddy Bridgewater is ultimately going to end up in NFL free agency. Let's go to the running back position. That's where we find Kareem Hunt. And it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about Kareem Hunt taking the league by storm as a rookie with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then obviously things did not end so hot or go so well for Kareem Hunt based on how things finished. And ultimately he got cut, of course, and they went on to the Cleveland Browns to be their backup and was kind of a head case there as well with some of the issues that went on. But nonetheless, this is a guy that has led the league in rushing before. He has been a Pro Bowler. And compared to some of the other veteran running backs out there, I think one thing that Kareem Hunt might be going for him is that because he was a number 2 running back behind Nick Chubb the last couple of the seasons, he's probably got fresher legs than most guys his age at this point in time. So I think at this juncture, you're looking at Kareem Hunt wherever he goes, being a number 2 running back, and there's several teams around the league, Dallas, New England in particular, that are still trying to find their answer for a number 2 running back. Kareem Hunt just might end up being their guy, but do you want to take on the headache that Kareem Hunt can cause? That's another thing you have to think about. More from Rick Spillman. Hunt's touches decreased, but he's still a powerful runner with excellent vision to catch the ball out of the backfield. He has some durability issues last season, so he'll need to show that he can stay healthy because he turns 28 in August. My prediction, I think he ends up with the Dallas Cowboys. We know Tony Pollard is their top running back, and he's coming off a leg injury in his own right. You did bring in Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State, who I'm very excited to see what he brings to the table in the National Football League. But is Deuce ready to take on a big role just yet? And Deuce a little undersized, might I add, as well. I know that there is a thought out there that Zeke is going to find his way back to Dallas when it's all said and done, but I do think there was some hurt feelings there. And I would think that if Zeke wanted to be back in Dallas, and if Dallas wanted him, if they were on the same page, they would have had something work out by now at this point in time. Kareem Hunt, a little bit faster. Zeke showed that he lost his step a bit last year. His yards per carry was below 4 yards last year. I think Kareem Hunt might be a better option, and we've seen that Jerry Jones has not been afraid in the past to take on guys with some character issues and some problems. Kareem Hunt, I think, ends up with the Dallas Cowboys when it's all said and done. What say you? Will Kareem Hunt sign with the Cowboys? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no. Will Kareem Hunt end up in Dallas, or will he end up somewhere else? Chime in the comment section and let me know where you think Kareem Hunt goes. Last on our list is Jadeveon Clowney, the defensive end. It wasn't too long ago we were talking about Jadeveon Clowney as the number 1 overall pick out of South Carolina. I think we all still think of the infamous play he had in college when he was in the Outback Bowl against Michigan and literally threw that guy on the ground. But even after being the number 1 overall pick, he's had a decent career, a 3-time Pro Bowler from 2016 to 2018. Did he live up to the hype? Not necessarily, but it hasn't been a bad career for Clowney. Went from Houston to Seattle, then to Tennessee, and most recently Cleveland. But last year was kind of a bit of a disappointing season in Cleveland. And where could he go? Well, here's more from Rick Spillman. He is a better player when he has an elite pass rusher opponent opposite of him, as he did with Myles Garrett in Cleveland. Clowney had 9 sacks in 2021, but only 2 last season when injuries hampered him. Still, he generated pressure on the quarterback. I'm going to say he ends up with the Chicago Bears, and let me explain why I think that he ends up with the Bears. At this juncture, there's not a whole lot of teams that have a lot of money to spend. The Bears, rather, still have a ton of money that they can spend at this point, a lot of cap space. And they are in desperate need of help when it comes to pass rushers, something that they basically ignored in this past April's NFL draft. Watch out for a veteran like Jadeveon Clowney. I think he ultimately ends up with the Bears. I want to know, where do you think Jadeveon Clowney signs? Does he go to Chicago? Does he go to somewhere else? Let me know where you think he ends up in the comment section below. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also now on Threads as well at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there, and I'll see you next time right here on NFL Daily.